Hi, it's Amy with Intuitive Coaching with Amy Radio, and this is your sacred space for spirituality, intuition, manifestation, metaphysical wisdom, and personal development. Let's talk about my absolute favorite spiritual practice right now, which is connecting with the future self. I've recently done some shows on it. I do have an offer out right now where I guide you through a process where you can connect to your future self psychically. And yes, there are a lot of beautiful guided meditations that help you visualize your future self. And I think those are awesome and fun. But I want to talk about connecting to the future self psychically. And there is a difference. So when you connect psychically to your future self, that version of you has already experienced what you're working towards. And so you step into an entirely different energy. That version of you has already moved through the fear, the doubt, the uncertainty, navigating challenges. They've already manifested the result. And so one of the greatest gifts that come with connecting to the future self, I'll say this, it's energetic relief, right? Because we're working on manifestation. And yes, we are always, I hope, we're always optimistic that it's going to happen. We want to believe it's going to happen. We're doing everything that we know to do. When you connect to the future self, I say you get a break. You get a break from the questioning and the wondering and the trying to figure it out. And you just get to be in that moment with the version of you who's already done it. And so there's this calm, there's this centeredness, there's this confidence, there's this peace. And if you're clairsentient and naturally feel energy, you'll notice this almost immediately. It's almost like self-care for your manifestation. The energy is so different. There is a steady knowingness that is there. And it's from that place that you can begin to receive very specific guidance. I've been saying this for a while. I'm most interested in the next right step. I've been consciously practicing manifestation for well over 20 years. And I'm no longer interested in trying 20 different things just to see what works. I know there is a next right step and that specific action, insight, or shift that will bridge the gap between where I am today and where I want to be. It is that step that will bring my desire into physical form. And so one of the reasons I created the Future Self sessions is that I am not guiding you through a visualization. I'm guiding you through a psychic process. And together we connect with the future version of you that you want to become. And not just any future self, the one connected to the desire you're actively creating right now. Maybe it's the version of you whose business is killing it and making sale after sale after sale. Maybe it's the you that's in that relationship that is so good. You and your healthy, fit, lean body. You experiencing greater financial freedom than you've ever had before in your life. You're in a financial overflow. There are multiple figures in your bank account. Whatever you're working towards, you get to connect with that you that has that. And that you that's on that specific future timeline. And then you have the opportunity to receive clear guidance. The person, the version of you that's already done it, can give you the most crystal clear step. So you know exactly what to do next. And, it's not just symbolism and warm, fuzzy, comforting feelings. And believe me, those are beautiful. And I love that aspect of psychic information. But what really excites me and what I love is that you get to receive a really practical piece of information that can help you do what you need to do so that you can be a match and receive into form what you're working towards. And it's really fun. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I've spent a lot of time developing this method so that you can communicate with the future self. And if you decide to explore future self work on your own, start with some guided meditation, say a prayer beforehand, and then see what piece of psychic guidance comes forward as you're in that guided meditation. And then ask only to receive guidance that is for your highest and greatest good. Surround yourself with divine protection so that you can be really intentional about what psychic plane you're entering. It's one of the reasons I've spent so much time developing the future self sessions and working on this process is I wanted a spiritual experience that is grounded and safe and supportive. And it's one of my favorite offerings because I watch people easily connect to their future self, right? Like, I'm generally their psychic. They can have this beautiful psychic experience and come back with this piece of information really, really rapidly. And oftentimes all it takes is one clear next step to get you to where you want to go. And then you get to ask your future self. So if you've been sensing that there's a future version of you that you want to connect with, trust that, and go ahead and find a way to make that connection. My last little piece here. I am a psychic. I've been doing psychic work for a very long time. I generally only work on the spiritual plane. The future self obviously is not on the spiritual plane, right? And when I say spiritual plane, the place of angelic beings, guides, ascendant masters, God. That's generally where I hang out. Pretty much the only place I hang out. And if I do visit other psychic planes, I do it by way of my spirit guides. And I have a whole process I developed around that as well. It's almost like I'm receiving information through like a plexiglass, if you will. That glass that's up at the bank or something. That's if I'm visiting a different plane where I might encounter entities of a lower vibration. I read fast, and so I don't want a lot of downtime between reading. So I stay on that higher plane. I don't bring anything back that's not for my highest and greatest good. It's very, 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 very clean. Now, when you're talking with the future self, this is why if you are interested in this, I would encourage you to consider my process and letting me guide you through it. The future self is not, again, on the spiritual plane. So you want to be able to connect in the cleanest way possible. So that's why you need to be prayed up, because the realm of the future self is also a gateway to a lot of entities that not all of them are high vibrational. I'll say it that way. So I would say play safe if you're going to do this. Play very, very safe. And the way you do that's very simple. Just pray. Pray to only receive guidance that is for your highest and greatest good. And go in with as open of a heart as possible. Doesn't mean you have to be completely, sometimes something's bugging you and you want some insight. I'm not saying you have to be completely energetically neutral. But do your best to be as centered as possible and make sure you pray. Put a bubble of protection around you. And if you're really new to this, I would say, go ahead and say, I am not available for any entity that is not for my highest and greatest good. No devils, demons, wacky energies are allowed to enter into my future self session or my conversation with my future self. And if you already have guides that you connect with regularly, bring them in. Or if you connect with an ancestor that you feel is protective and powerful, then bring them in as well. And ask them, say, hey, I just want you here to keep me safe. Please don't influence this reading, because it's so magical when you can connect to the you who's already been through what you are going through. You can get some really beautiful, wonderful information. And it's surprisingly, yes, it's easy to do a visualization, not that easy to connect to the future self. And that's why I have crafted and worked on this process. So now I can get people into their future self, get with the piece of information they need and get out safely and beautifully and use that so that they can create the transformation that they desire. So if you would like to do my future self sessions, it is my July special. You get 4 sessions that you can use between now and the end of the year. It's not a package. I'm giving you 4 sessions so that there'll probably be 4 different things that come up between now and the end of the year that you're going to want some insight on. And it gives you an opportunity if you're new to me. It's a wonderful way to connect. It's $270. And I think it's one of the coolest things I've made. But lately I've been saying everything I make is pretty cool. Because I love this stuff. And I've been asking for very specific practices to come forward to support the people I'm meant to support. So future self sessions, go to my website, intuitivecoachingwithamy.com. You'll see it up there in the header because it's the special. And I look forward to connecting with you in the future self sessions. Take care of yourself. Oh, I should probably say goodbye, right? I actually did write myself a little pitch for the future self sessions. Would you like to hear my pitch? Okay, so future self sessions, it's a private 90-minute session. I guide you through a safe psychic process to connect with your future self that has already manifested the result you're working towards. And you'll receive not only the insight that comes forward through your future self, but, I'm always going to give you whatever I'm picking up as well. So it's a wonderful way to transcend any struggle, difficulty, confusion that you're having around a manifestation. And if you are ready for that, go to intuitivecoachingwithamy.com. And again, at the top, you'll see the future self sessions. Thank you so much for listening to this show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I pray this message was useful. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.